श्री श्री रास विहारिणी जू की जय। जन्माष्टमी महोत्सव की बधाई हो सबको। This is the day 100 of Rajki Sodi Seva Trust reading Shri Hariraji Shiksha Patra. Introduction to letter 40. In this 40th letter, Shri Hariraji expresses his feeling of being devoid of any good practice and his ensuing deep humility. He writes about how his manager did a blameworthy act which saddened him. Even though the situation is now resolved, it is worth mentioning because it shows how important it is to keep the right kind of company. He writes, "My good feelings towards him is now restored. Before this, Premji was distraught, so please do write some letters of praise to him from there." In this previous letter, it was taught that in this path of grace, service to Sri Krishna is the supreme practice which one must make, and it is both the practice and the reward. However, Sri Hariraji says, "I am not now managing to maintain such service." Verses 1 and 2. In this letter, I am expressing my anguish. I am sad because the great devotee Mahatara has gone away from here, and you are also living at a distance. By the good grace of my elders, I have come to understand a little about this path. But now, who will remove the pain in my heart which arises from my own devotional imperfections? Tika. Sri Hariraji says here, "I am telling you of my sadnesses because you are very capable and my beloved brother. To whom else can I reveal my joys and grief? Now you have gone far away. If you were close, you would be able to help me. In your letter I am never sad. In your company I am never sad. And so I must write you this letter to tell you that the great devotee named Mahathir has left here for work. Now both he and you are far away from me, and I cannot even hope to meet with you. Thus I am writing it all in a letter so that you will know. I know a little about the path of grace so close to the Lord through the kind auspices of Sri Acharyaji and Sri Gosaiji. However, my great devotee associates have now moved away and I have a lot of negative contact. Thus I feel I am not fulfilling my path and my heart is terribly pained because of this. I really do not know who will remove this pain for me. I myself have no means to do so and I am full of impurities. Or who will remove my anguish?" Verse 3. Despite my efforts, I am the chief of the hypocrites. Sri Krishna must know this in his heart because, even though he is merciful and affectionate to the humble, he is still avoiding me. Tika. In this verse, Sri Hariraji is exposing this state of utter humility in order to elucidate the qualities of a humble devotee to his followers, devotees of the path of grace. I am the chief of the hypocrites, so who am I to talk? Sri Hari knows me to be so because he still ignores me, even though he removes all sorrow, is most beneficent, and has mercy on the humble. This is how I know he knows I am a hypocrite, for he continues to avoid me. So what can I possibly do about this? This kind of humility is essential. Sri Gosaiji has written in supplication to Sri Krishna, the upholder of the Govardhan mountain, in his Vigyapti treatise, "My consciousness is tainted, as are my speech, body, actions, knowledge and worship. My offences are uncountable, too many for you to consider. I know I am unfortunate, for even though you are the Lord of Gokul and always look after the cows, cowherds and cowherd maidens and everything else in Vraj, and even though you are of a compassionate nature and cannot bear to see the suffering of your devotees, even so you have now acted otherwise and become hardened, able to tolerate the pain of your devotee. You are the Lord of all, and you can do not, or do otherwise at your own free will. What can I possibly say to you? I am so unfortunate and foolish that I have given you the pain of turning away from your usual nature and becoming hardened to your devotees' pain." This kind of humility is essential to the path of grace. One great devotee has sung, "I am the king, the lord and chief and master of the fallen." The embodied soul reveals its true nature in such words, which show the extent to which it has become separate from the Lord and wicked thereby. Sri Acharyaji has written in his Balbod treatise, Spiritual Instructions for Children, "An embodied soul is impure by nature." Sri Hariraji here follows the gist of the above words of Sri Gosaiji, when he writes, "I am the chief hypocrite, the Lord Sri Krishna, who is merciful and beneficent to the humble, has considered my case and decided to ignore me." You can say that Sri Krishna never neglects his devotee, and that This is famously stated in the scriptures, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, but what would you know of how he ignores me? Verse 4. Know that Shri Krishna is avoiding when other devotees ignore you. I am lost in the forest and forgotten by my own people. Even you have forgotten the path I am on. Now in whom should I take refuge? Tika 4. I know that Shri Krishna has abandoned me because the accomplished devotee of the path of grace has left me. I have heard from great souls that you can be sure that the Lord is pleased with you when you meet a great devotee, and equally that he is displeased with you when they leave you. My best devotee associate has left me now, so I know for sure, and the Lord has abandoned me, that the Lord has abandoned me. Now what should I do, and in whom should I take refuge? Both the Lord and his devotee have left me, and so I am most concerned as to whom I should turn. I feel as if I am lost in a deep forest and cannot find the way out, and thus very worried. Here you might ask, even if the Lord has left you, you should not lay blame on him. This is not the way of the path of devotion. The Lord is faultless, so how can you blame him? The next verse answers this question. Verse 5. Of course this is not the Lord's fault. There is not one quality within me that could make the Lord accept me. Of those whom the Lord accepts, he forgets their many faults and embraces their qualities, for he is a gatherer of merits. Note to verse 5. Even on a mundane level, a gatherer of merits does not look at the faults in a person that are immediately present, but instead at their intrinsic qualities. A person of truly tainted consciousness cannot see their own faults, but attributes them to the one in front of them. Tika. Here Sri Hari Raji explains. The Lord is faultless, all the faults lie within myself. There is absolutely no virtue within me, and I am racked with impurity from head to toe. I have forgotten all about my faults, and I think I am full of merit. This is the extent of my ignorance. Everything is indeed my own fault. The Lord is replete with fine qualities, and therefore does not fault find. He sees only the qualities in those whom he accepts. I am just confused because of my foolishness. We'll pause here at the end of verse 5. Until tomorrow. आज के आनंद कीजिए, शिवल बहादीश कीजिए, सब वैष्णवों को सादर सप्रेम सानंद, जय श्री कृष्ण, श्री श्री रास विहारिणी जी की जय।